Hey guys, it's Tiff. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my god guys, today is a very exciting video clip, I don't know, life event, like core memory unlocked. So today we're going to be seeing the bean for the first time. We've booked an early scan and I am so excited. Like, I feel like I've been really anxious, which I think is quite normal for your first pregnancy, but I've been very anxious like for like the first 8 weeks. So I think this will really put my mind at ease. Can't wait. I'm hoping we can record the screen, but if not, I'll show you like the ultrasound pictures afterwards. But yeah, for anyone that's interested, we've booked somewhere called Window to the Womb. They've got like I don't want to say surgeries because that's not the right term, but they've got places all over London. The one that we've gone to is in Croydon. So yes, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm just hoping, well, no, I'm hoping and praying that everything's okay, and I'm sure that it is, but I'm just, I don't know, like, yeah, just anxious, I guess. But anyway, let's go and see our bean. Hello, we're back from the scan. Everything seemed fine apparently. I'll show you. This is Bean. Can you believe it? When he was showing us the video, the baby's heartbeat, Reese, stop being silly. The baby's heartbeat was like going so fast and I started crying obviously. So yeah, our little baby. Yeah, he said that there was a cyst on my right ovary, but he wasn't very concerned. And there was also a little pool of blood behind the womb, I think he said. But again, he said he wasn't too concerned and he thought that the womb would just absorb the pool of blood. But this is the first time I've seen the baby, obviously. And it'll be the last time I see the baby until our 12-week scan, which is in January. So exciting times. Okay, we are back from our first midwife appointment. I mean, it's not really much to say, I guess. It went well. It was quite long. She did say, by the way, the midwife that we did see, although she isn't going to be our actual midwife, our midwife is sick. She was so nice and I kind of wish she was our midwife because she was so lovely. But anyway, yeah, when we first got in there, she said this is like the longest appointment you'll have. It lasts about an hour and a half, and that's because we need to get all of your information. So all of your history, any medical conditions, previous medical history, blah, blah, blah. She took some blood tests, and then she did say that she thinks I'm quite high risk for a blood clot because a lot of, there's quite a lot of history in my family to do with like blood clots and heart attacks and strokes and stuff. So she said she thinks the consultant will put me on blood thinners, like injections, throughout my pregnancy and like a while after giving birth. But I don't mind, I have to inject anyway when it comes to my actual condition. So I'm not bothered by that. She was also like, you know, giving us information about gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, and then she asked if we had decided or if we had started thinking about our birth plan. And I said that I was leaning towards giving birth at the hospital because of my condition. I just think it would be a lot safer, just in case, touch wood, nothing does go wrong, but just in case something did go wrong, we'd be in the best place. But yeah, she was so lovely. Oh, I didn't bring my pregnancy notes up. I've come upstairs to have a nap. But she gave us this big book of my notes basically now, and she said that you have to take these notes with you everywhere you go. And it's so weird. I said to her, like, I remember my mum carrying around her pregnancy notes when she was pregnant with my siblings, and it's just weird that now I have those notes. Can't believe it. She was so lovely. But yeah, is there anything else to update you on? I don't think so. our next update / appointment is on the 9th of Jan. It's the 30th today. That's our next scan. That will be like our 12-week scan. So in like a week, we'll get to see the baby again, which can't wait. I'm just waiting for that 12-week scan just to calm down a little bit more. I've definitely calmed down a lot. Like when I first found out I was pregnant, I was worrying all of the time. And I'm not so much anymore. But obviously I still do worry now and again. But yeah, I also wanted to show you this book. Connor got it for me for Christmas. It says it's the big fat activity book for pregnant people. And it's really funny. It's got loads of funny things in here. It says things like, I'm a fertility goddess, the second trimester. How many words can you make out of letters in oh shit, I'm pregnant? So, match the song you should not listen to, and it's, so, where were you the moment your life changed forever? It's just a really good book. So, yeah, but I'll catch you at my 12-week scan. Bye. Hey guys. Oh God, it's been a couple of weeks since I last spoke to the camera. I don't know if it's weeks or a month or whatever, but today it's our official 12-week scan. I'm so excited. So to cut a long story short, we did actually go for a scan 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, because they thought that would be my 12-week scan. But then when we got there, they said I was only measuring around 10.5 weeks. So I had to come back for the 12-week scan, which is today. So we're gonna see the little bean again. I was so excited. And then after the 12-week scan, we're going to Rome in February, and that's when we're going to do the announcement. So just getting closer and closer to that milestone. But yeah, I want to take you along with me, and hopefully we'll be able to record in the room and you'll be able to see the baby. So let's go. Good morning. Okay, so the last clip you would have seen is me being really excited about the 12-week scan. I'm now 16 weeks and like 4 days. So I don't know what happened, but I completely forgot to show you the scan picture of the 12 weeks. So I'll show you that now. It was really, really funny. So the pictures aren't the best quality, but okay, so this is the funny story. The pictures aren't the best quality. So the reason for that is we got in there and don't know how to say the word. Is it sonographer or the person that does the scan? I laid on the bed and like she put the jelly on, and like the baby came up straight away, and like she was moving around, and she was like, this baby is just too comfortable. Like this baby is just basically asleep. So she said, can you get up and do some star jumps? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I stood up and I was like jumping around, and Connor was looking at me like, you're an absolute nutter. And the lady was like, okay, get back on the bed. So I got back on the bed. The baby hadn't moved. So turns out the baby was exactly like its dad. Lazy, sleeps a lot, doesn't want to wake up from its slumber. So then she had me like lay on the bed, lift my hips up and like thrust my hips to try and get the baby to move, because basically she was trying to measure the baby, but because it was so like asleep and curled up, I guess she couldn't measure it properly. And then she was trying to like measure its neck and its spine and stuff like that, but she couldn't really. I don't think she did get the measurements, I think, but I don't think it was as easy as it usually is for most people. And then she showed us the baby's brain as well, which I found this really interesting. So with the baby's brain, you can actually see literally two parts of the baby's brain, because the baby's brain isn't formed in one, it's formed two sides separately. And then when they're born, you know, like the baby has a really soft bit here, that's because the baby's brain isn't formed properly. And then over time, like the skull and the brain comes together. That was really interesting. We did actually ask if we could film, because the baby was moving around. So when she was like, because she was digging, that's another thing, because she was trying to get the baby to move, she was like digging the scanner into my belly. Like, when I say digging, I mean it felt like she was digging for gold, guys. It was actually painful at points. She kept being like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get the baby to move. And at a point she like really pushed down and the baby like booted my tummy, and Connor looked at me and was like, did you feel that? And I was like, no, because we could see it on the screen, like the baby proper like booted. And I was like, no, I didn't feel that. So yeah, that was a pretty magical day. But yeah, I'm 16 weeks now. I've been really bad with this like first trimester video. I'm going to try and do much better with the second trimester, even though I'm 16 weeks now. So I don't know, maybe I'll just give you a quick rundown now because I've got a bit of time. I don't start work until 8:30, and what time is it? It's not even 8 o'clock yet, so I'll give you a bit of a rundown, I guess. So I actually feel like I was very lucky in terms of like my symptoms during my first trimester. I didn't have any symptoms. I wasn't that lucky. Like, I did have a bit of morning sickness and I did feel extremely exhausted. That was my main symptom, I would say, like just feeling exhausted, not even like just a little bit tired. It was like I could lay down on the floor and go to sleep. That's how tired I felt. And I think I was sick maybe 3 times. I kept getting waves of nausea. I know a lot of people say that they like feel sick throughout the whole day. I didn't get that. Now, strangely, my sickness would come more in the evening times, like around 4, 5 o'clock. I'd just be sitting there minding my own business and I'd just get this wave of nausea and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna be sick. And only on a few occasions I was actually sick, but I just felt like very sick. And then after a little while it went. But what I did notice is if I didn't eat, if I allowed myself to get really hungry, or not even really hungry, just a little bit hungry, that's it. Then I would feel extremely sick. And I think that's just your body's way of being like, you need to eat, hun, because you've got a baby growing inside of you. Sorry. I'm also a little bit ill because we went to Rome. I didn't even vlog that as well because I forgot my camera, so I'm shooting myself in the foot about that, but it is what it is. Went to Rome for a couple of days and it was so magical up until the point that I got food poisoning and felt like I was going to die. So, and I'm pretty sure I should have, to be honest. What's going on with my hair? I don't know. I think the thing that caused me to have food poisoning was carbonara, because I've recently found out, aka yesterday, that basically in Italy they just run like raw egg yolks through carbonara. So definitely shouldn't have been eating that. So I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that nothing happened to the baby. That's what I mean in terms of I'm so lucky. I called the midwife. So it was Tuesday evening, we went out for dinner. And then around 3 a.m. I woke up and I was like, oh God, I do not feel good. And when I tell you I was being sick for 12 hours straight, I'm not even exaggerating. From 3 a.m. to 3 p.m, I was being sick. I couldn't even hold down water. It was the worst. Anyway, I called the midwife on Wednesday morning and just explained like, we're in Rome, I've got food poisoning, blah, blah. And to be honest, she put my mind at rest so much, bless her. She was like, the baby will be fine, like you just have to ride it out, just try and keep hydrated. And I was trying to drink water, I was trying to take sips of water. But I don't know how we got here. Why am I telling you about Rome when I should be telling you about my first trimester symptoms? I don't know. Anyway, I'm okay, I'm fine. I still feel a bit poorly, but it's more like a cold. Anyway, let's just forget about that. Going back to the first trimester symptoms, it was, it's me alarm. In terms of first trimester symptoms, it was mainly just the exhaustion for me. Actually, hang on, I think I made a list, guys, when I was first, like when I was very, very early pregnant. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my God, I did. Okay. Right, let me go through the list. Sore boobs. Right, okay, yep. That was probably the first thing that made me think I'm pregnant, because my boobs were so sore, but not even like, you know when you come on your period and they're sore? It wasn't that type of sore. It was like a different level of soreness. I can't explain it. They were so like, even if I touched my nipple, it was just like, I couldn't. So sore boobs, yeah. This is another thing that I thought I'm definitely pregnant. So I got thrush, and I haven't had thrush in donkey's years, right? Sorry if this is TMI, but it is what it is. So yeah, it was, I don't know, so I had the sore boobs first, and then about a couple of days later, I don't know, I think it was like maybe a week later, I got thrush, and I thought that is so weird, because I wasn't going into the office much. I went into the office twice a week. So I've been wearing like tracksuit bottoms. I haven't been wearing any tight clothes. Wasn't taking any antibiotics, obviously. And I just thought that is very strange. Like, why have I all of a sudden just got thrush? And I Googled it, and it said thrush is a very common symptom in the first sign of early pregnancy, because essentially it's your body like trying to overcompensate to keep that area clean, because it's realised that, you know, you've conceived. So yeah, that was another thing. When I got the thrush, I was like, I've got to be pregnant. But as you'll see in my finding out I'm pregnant vlog, I was testing. I must have been testing way too early. That's probably why this was happening. But I kept testing, and the test kept coming back negative. And I was so convinced. I was convinced that I was pregnant. And I was like, I'm going insane. I'm going insane. Like, I'm just tricking myself into thinking that I'm having a baby when I'm not. And I did start to give up hope. And then I took, I can't remember, it must have been around 14 DPO, I think. I'm not really sure, because I don't know when I ovulated, to be honest. And then a really, really faint line came up, and I was like, oh my God, I am pregnant. So anyway, yeah. Feeling sick, we've covered that. Cramps. Oh, okay. Let's just run it back, shall we, real quick. The cramps that I had, they must have been implantation cramps. They were so painful. I actually thought I was coming on my period, because they were really painful. So, God, it was... So my mother-in-law stayed with us this weekend that I was getting these cramps, and we took the dog out for a walk. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I'm pregnant. And we took the dog for a walk, and we took him to like this massive field, and we were walking, and I kept getting these cramps, and like I remember my heart dropping, because I was like, I'm coming on my period, I'm not pregnant. Like, I've completely just gone insane and lost it completely, and just really, I so wanted to be pregnant that I felt like I just convinced myself that I was, even though I wasn't. Anyway, that was, yeah, the cramps were intense, like really intense as well, though. Not even just like a little bit, like they hurt a lot. So yeah, getting really hot during the night. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so glad that I made this list. Go past Tiffany. So I kept waking up like really, really hot flushes. Not like just a little bit, like, you know, like you're sweaty. I don't know why that was. It was like my... Oh, actually, I think I probably do. I think is it your basal? I can't remember the name. I think like your internal temperature rises when you're pregnant. So that's probably the reason why. Peeing more. Still a very common symptom right now. Yeah, that was one of the biggest symptoms as well. Oh, that's a lie. It wasn't one of the biggest symptoms, but it was one of the things I noticed, especially in the first few weeks. So probably between 4 to 8 weeks, I noticed having to go to the toilet a lot more frequently, and then it kind of died down again, and then after 12 weeks it's now picked up again, and I need to wee all of the time, but that's probably because the baby's obviously getting bigger, laying on my bladder, things like that, and I'm trying to drink a lot of water as well. This is another symptom that's a bit TMI, but I'm going to share it anyway. Smelly urine. This was another thing that made me think that I was pregnant, because this was, again, early on, probably like very, very early on. 1 to 2 weeks, but they say 4 weeks because they count it from your last day of your period. But I remember like going to the toilet when I was testing, and my urine stank. It stank. Like, it made me feel sick. And I was like, why does it smell like that? And again, Googled it, and they said it's another, well, they said, Google said, it was another common symptom of early pregnancy because it's the HGC rising in your body, and for some reason it makes your pee smell. I don't know how true that is, right? Because you need to take everything Google says with a pinch of salt, because if you've got a headache and you Google your symptom, you're dying of a brain tumour, do you know what I mean? But apparently that's another common symptom in early pregnancy. Backache as well, that's another one I've got on here. I don't really get backaches anymore, not right now anyway. I mean, I'm definitely going to get them when I get older. When I get more pregnant, or I'm further along. It's early in the morning, guys, so apologies if I'm not really making any sense. The next thing, again, this hasn't changed much. Very sensitive and crying all the time. Yeah, so that's still a very common symptom. I'm not going to lie. I am, or I was, a very sensitive, emotional person before being pregnant anyway. I would just cry at everything. So pregnancy has made it like 100 times worse. So poor Connor, bless him, I'm just crying over anything and everything. I cried yesterday because basically the spare room, we're trying to sort the spare room out, obviously, because the baby's coming and we want to make it all nice and everything and make it into a nursery. And I spent like, I don't know, 3 hours trying to sort the room out, and it was just like a junk room, so there was just shit everywhere. And I found 2 packs of cards. I found a pack of Uno cards and a pack of normal cards. So I went into our bedroom and put the pack of cards into Connor's drawer. And he came upstairs, and for some reason he looked in his drawer and he found them. And he was like, why are these cards in my drawer? And I just burst out crying. I was like, oh my God, are you bloody joking? Like, I spent 3 hours in that bedroom tidying, and all you can care about is me putting cards in your drawer. So in the end, the cards went back in his drawer and they stayed there. Mouth tasting like metal suddenly. Yeah, this was a horrible symptom. I haven't had it for a while now, but it's almost like, you know, when you cut yourself and like I don't like doing this anyway because I don't like the taste of blood or metal, and like people like suck it and you get like that taste of metal in your mouth. It was like that, but it was like sudden. It was just almost like you were fine, and then the next minute you was fine, and then all of a sudden you've got like this metal taste in your mouth, and you're like, what the fuck is that? So that was also weird, and that's where the list ends. So clearly I just got fed up with writing down the symptoms, or maybe they just stopped, I don't know. I mean, I've still got my boobs aren't that sore actually. They're a bit sensitive now and again. They like fluctuate, I guess. Like sometimes they're fine, other times I'm like, oh, they're a bit tender today. So it just depends on the day. But yeah, that's like the first trimester symptoms. I'll keep the other clips in here because I think they're cute. It's lovely to see. It's lovely to look back on as well. Like when we have the baby and we look back on like these memories, it still feels surreal. I don't know if this is a symptom or what, but it just still feels surreal to me that I'm actually pregnant. At the first couple of I guess until you're around, I don't know, I don't even want to say now because it still feels a bit surreal. But definitely in the first, like, I don't know, 12 weeks, I just felt like, am I actually pregnant? Or is this just, I don't know, am I in the Matrix? Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, like, because, okay, yeah, you get a few symptoms, but you can't feel the baby kick, like your body hasn't changed that much. Like my boobs got a lot bigger now, but before they hadn't. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense. If anyone's pregnant, like you're in that 12-week stage, and you know what I mean, like, it almost feels like you've convinced yourself that you're pregnant and you're not, because nothing's actually happening. But I've got a little bump now. I put a picture on the screen. I've got a, well, it's not little, it's actually quite big, so I'm actually terrified how big this baby's going to be, because Connor's a big boy. But I don't know where I was going with that. Why did I say that? That's another thing, baby brain. That is definitely in full force. So sometimes I'm like talking to people at work, bearing in mind that I'm a manager of a team, and I'm talking to my team, and I just lose my train of thought, and I'm just like, all right, I guess that's the end of the meeting, because I've just completely forgot what I was going to say, so sorry about that. But yeah, exciting times, guys. But I'm going to try and start the second trimester vlog now. Oh, my mum's calling me, so I'm going to go. I'm going to try and start the second trimester vlog today. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you like the baby content, please subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.